Ever heard of an army that fought with art and sound instead of bullets and bombs? Meet the Ghost Army, one of World War II's best-kept secrets. Officially, they were the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, a small unit of just 1,100 American soldiers. But their mission was anything but small. Their job was to impersonate entire divisions of up to 30,000 men, making the German army see ghosts. How did they pull it off? With an incredible dose of creativity. These weren't your typical soldiers. Many were artists, designers, engineers, and sound specialists, recruited from art schools and advertising agencies. They were masters of illusion. Their arsenal was truly unique. Instead of heavy steel tanks, they had inflatable rubber ones. From a distance, these looked just like a real armored column ready to attack. They'd inflate dozens of tanks, trucks, and even airplanes, arranging them to mimic a massive military buildup. An entire armored division could literally be pumped up in a few hours. But seeing is only one part of believing. The Germans also had to hear the army. That's where the sound experts came in. They drove around in specially equipped trucks fitted with powerful speakers, blasting pre-recorded sounds of rumbling tanks, marching soldiers, and construction work. They could make an empty field sound like a bustling military base, all day and all night. The recordings were meticulously crafted to sound authentic, creating an auditory illusion that was just as convincing as the visual one. Imagine being a German soldier, hearing the unmistakable clatter of tank treads just over the hill, never knowing it was all a recording. And the deception didn't stop there. The Ghost Army also had a team dedicated to fake radio traffic. They studied the communication styles of different Allied divisions and then mimicked them perfectly. They'd send out coded messages, creating the impression that a real unit was operating in the area. This radio chatter was often the final piece of the puzzle that convinced German intelligence. They would report these fake units to their commanders, causing real German troops to be moved to counter a threat that didn't exist. This was tactical deception on a massive scale. One of their most famous operations was codenamed Operation Zone. In March 1945, the U.S. Ninth Army was preparing to cross the Rhine River, a huge and dangerous undertaking. The Ghost Army was called in to draw German attention away from the real crossing point. They set up their inflatable tanks and sound trucks about 10 miles south, pretending to be 2 full divisions, that's 30,000 men. For days, they put on a show, making it look like a major crossing was imminent. The Germans fell for it completely. They aimed their artillery at the fake army, wasting ammunition, and more importantly, keeping their forces pinned down while the real Ninth Army crossed the Rhine with far fewer casualties than expected. The Ghost Army's missions were so successful because they played on psychology. They understood that warfare isn't just about firepower. It's also about information and misdirection. By controlling what the enemy saw and heard, they could control their decisions. They essentially acted as a traveling roadshow of deception, moving up and down the front lines in France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Germany. In over 20 different operations, they tricked the enemy, diverted divisions, and created gaps in the German lines that real Allied forces could exploit. But the most incredible part of their story might be how long it remained a secret. After the war, all records of the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops were classified. The soldiers were sworn to secrecy, unable to tell even their families what they had done. They couldn't take credit for their bravery or their ingenious tactics. It wasn't until 1996, more than 50 years later, that their story was finally declassified. The world finally learned about this phantom force that had haunted the battlefields of Europe. It's estimated that the Ghost Army's creative deception saved thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of American and Allied lives. They proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a gun, it's an idea. So next time you think about the heroes of World War II, remember the artists, the actors, and the sound engineers who fought a war of wits and won. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more hidden histories. See you in the next one.